Hello. This audio should be pretty good. So today I got 3 things. I had received 2 of them in the mail before, but today I received a headphone jack, a amplifier. So let's take that out of the bag. Yeah, just bite it open. So there we go. Have a little amplifier, and I have the jacks to put on the back of my little headphone amplifier that I'm going to make. I can just rip this open. Yeah, sure, why not? I kind of don't want to. Oh yeah, I have a knife. Use a knife. This bag is really awkwardly taped. Yeah, so I have RCA jacks as well. Red and black ones. So there's red ones, there's black ones. And I'm going to do a quick solder tonight. Tonight I'm going to solder quickly to test these components out and see if they work. These were all eBay purchases, and they cost less than about $10 for like 5 times as much as this. I got a whole bunch of parts, so I can do this as many times as I need to. So for this, I'm going to need the trusty Weller. Some people might recognize this thing as like that old nasty soldering iron your dad had. Well, I have one of them and it works still. So that's what I use these days. The tip is really blunt, but if you're careful, you can work with it. I'm going to share my live stream. Okay, how do I share this? My channel. That's what I want to see. No, I don't want my Creator Studio. I just want... Oh, no, I don't want to upload a new photo. Akashi. Some dork is streaming. There we go. Copy. Alright, shared that on the Book of Faces. I think Twitter automatically gets a copy of this, so it should be good. Now I can full screen OBS and see everything. There we go. And I can say things into the chat. So, yeah, it was pretty cheap, and that's amazing. So, I'm going to plug in the soldering iron, and it doesn't heat up until I put the trigger down, so I'm also going to get out my handy-dandy multimeter and some wire. I have some solid core wire, many colors, so I don't know what I really want, but I can use any of those. Got acid flux and a little bit of cheap solder. It does the trick. It does have lead, so it should be easy enough to use. Just don't lick your fingers while using this stuff. Also use in a ventilated area. So I think this thing, is it going to autofocus? Autofocus. Autofocus. It does not like to autofocus. Okay. So, what am I going to do? Oh yeah. Might as well record the GoPro too. So, this thing, I really wish I could set the autofocus on this camera. Yeah, I can't. Oh no, did it stop? That's super handy. Good job, guys. Come on, camera. Come back to life. Oh, that's really annoying. Maybe I can make another scene. Camera number 1, camera number 2. So now you're seeing the bottom of the other camera. Oops, not copy filter, I want to copy it. Paste. Reference is fine. There we go. So even though you're seeing the back of the camera, see, that's not even really much better, but you can kind of see there's points here. These are stereo outputs for the headphones. This is power, and this is the stereo input, I think. Yeah. So that's what we have. I think I'm going to have to exit this program. Or is there a way to make it turn it off when I'm not using it? Nope. Here's hoping it'll still work. Okay, we're back. Hello. So we've got all our things. Time to get soldering. And while I wish I could bring you closer, I really can't. I don't have a camera that does that, so here we are. Okay, so I'm also going to need pliers. Probably won't need the solid core wire, but yeah, I'll use the solid core. I'll use 2 different colors, maybe 3 to 4 different colors. I won't use the stranded wire. Okay, so for power input I'll use gray and white, and I think, is it 5 volts in? I have to check. I have to find out if it is 5 volts input. Purchase history. Stop going around. Okay. I just rated a product 1 because they asked for a review. The Insignia Flex notebook. It's garbage. Okay, where is it? Usually in the eBay listing for things like this, they provide information. So, minimum output, 3 watts. Power supply range. Okay. So that's what I'm dealing with, 2.5 to 5.5 volts. We can give it 5 volts. I will use USB, because I have at least one cable that's been chopped, kicking around here, pretty sure. There's a short one. I can use this. So I'm just gonna pinch the edge of this with these side cutters, and it should take off enough that I can just use my fingernails, like really just dig my fingernails in there and pull, and then yeah, you get nicely stripped wire. So again, I'm just going to push the side cutters against the wire and just sort of pinch it a bit so it has a little bit of a divot. And there you go. Pull with my nails and it comes right off. Don't strip wires with your teeth. Take it from me. I didn't listen when I was a kid because it was the easiest way to strip wires, and I have like a little chip that I replaced in my tooth because I kept stripping wire with my teeth. And one time I took a bit of tooth off. It didn't hurt, but like, yeah, it wasn't smart. So I'm just going to heat up the soldering iron, and I'm going to tin this wire. I should probably get out my helping hands and not just hold on to everything. There we go. Just stick that on the helping hands. And I'll put some flux on the wire. Grab my solder, take my phone, so yeah, it should be warm enough now. Yeah, it's starting to melt solder. So the nice thing about the reservoir on the side of this nozzle is I can use it to tin wires with. Works pretty well. So there, I have two tinned wires, and you cannot see it probably, but this is plus, this is negative. So I'm just going to stick the red wire in plus, black wire in negative, and hope to hell that they were colored properly. No, I could plug this in and test it with my multimeter, and I will. But I'm pretty sure this is right. Plus, I have 5 of these things, and I don't really care if I roast one. So I'm going to use my helping hands here just to grab this, because this is a bit of a pain. So yeah. Positive towards the green potentiometer, and negative the other way. Okay. Yay, it's through. And it's staying put. That's the most important part. Stay put, you. So now I just need to put a little dab of solder there, and that should be fine. Oops. Come on, man. So instead of soldering them together, I pushed them apart and left the hole covered with a blob of solder. That's super handy. Come on, get in there. there's so much solder on this now. It just wasn't wicking. I probably should have put flux on this board to begin with too, to make life easier. Oh, there we go. Okay. The negative is now soldered in place. I get to get the positive back in the hole there. I can just unclip that since one side is already soldered in. What I'm doing is just maneuvering the stupid little red wire into the hole. There we go. And I don't need any more solder. I have a crap ton on my soldering iron. Okay. So this thing should have power. I don't think it has any LEDs. Yeah, those are all resistors, so I won't be able to tell if it's on and working properly until I get some sound coming through it. So yeah. So now here's a hard part. I don't know which of these 4 identical posts is which. Oh, they're numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's look up. Okay, so yeah, let's get out the other part. Oh, did I hide it already? That was dumb. There we go. 3.5 millimeter 4 conductor stereo panel mount jack solder eyelet. Ten jacks. It's about as many as I got. Does it say anything about which pin is which? Oh, pin 1 earth spring, pin 2 microphone, pin 3 left channel, pin 4 right channel. Alright, so we don't have a microphone. So these are 4 pin. That's pretty nice actually. Yeah, so these things are 4 pin. Yeah, so what do we have there? Pin 3 is left, pin 4 is right. So let's wire those first, and ground is easy enough to figure out otherwise. So for right I'll use brown, for left I'll use yellow. And I will just cut, yeah, cut a short amount of wire because we don't want the jack to go too far for this test, just far enough to get into them. So again, pinch the edge of the wire and it should I have wire cutters, but they're like, wire cutters suck. They get dull. I find side cutters work really well. Just pinch the wire. And yeah, you could strip it. I mean, because my camera won't focus, you can't really see it. You can kind of see how it's tinned against my finger there. So 4, let's dip this in some flux, and 4 is right. Is that? That's 3. So I want that one. That one's right. So I'm gonna, oh, make sure something's holding onto it so it doesn't fly away. And I will just solder it right there. Might be easier for everyone to see if I bent this up, including myself. God, why won't it focus? I hate this camera. So you're just gonna have to trust me that there's a thing here, because you can't see it. So pin 4, I looked up the design online and that's where right is, so I'm gonna put a brown wire going into right. And there was already enough solder on the soldering iron to do that one. So that one I can unclip. It's already really solidly in there. Oh, I broke the wire. That's handy. Well, I'll just have to solder it on again. I guess that's the danger of solid core wires. You can't flex it very much, and I was just trying to flex it there, and it totally snapped right off. So I'm going to remove this old piece of wire. Come on, get out of there. There's that brown wire. I'm just going to poke the brown wire through after I melt the solder, and it should be fine. Yep. It poked through just fine. Whoa, it poked through way too far, but that's fine too. So pin 4 is soldered. On to pin 3. Grab my wire, dip it in some flux, and maybe tin it. But you can't really tin solid core wire very easily. So I'm just going to stick through that through the hole, marked 3, and hope that they marked them correctly. And that's my alarm to tell me work on things. Yes, alarm, I'm working on stuff. Okay, so we have a right and a left wire. Now ground was 1, right? Pin 1, earth spring. Yeah, that's ground. So let us, yeah, ground can be gray. because why not? Oops. The only problem with using side cutters is if you're not super careful, you can just cut straight through the core, which is not what you want. Let's turn this around to get to pin 1. Go. Instantly cooled off. We have our 3 pins ready and waiting to be plugged into their device. So I'm just going to twist these slowly and see if I don't snap them. I don't want to snap them. There we go. Now I have a nice gathered together set of wires. That might make my life easier. I'm just going to cut them all off relatively the same length. Strip them. Strip them to the same length too, so that when I put them through the board, they all fit. Now, the real star of the show when soldering seems to be flux. Sometimes I resist using it because I don't think I should need it, but like, just always use a little bit of flux. It makes life so much easier. It makes the solder flow to metal components. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure of the chemistry, maybe I should look that up someday, but you know, it works, and it works really well. I mean, I know there's a hint in the name, it's acid flux, so it sort of probably pits the surface of the metal and makes it easier for the solder to bond to. So let's use our helping hands again to try and join these two things together. Come on, turn around. Or I can do that, yeah. So we want right ground left. So put right over here. Trying to manipulate the wires into an arrangement where they'll all go in at once pretty easily, hopefully. Left, ground, right. Get up there. And then what I'll do is I'll just use my needle nose pliers to bend this solid core wire over so it shouldn't come out. So it's not just the solder holding this on, it's the wire is very solidly in there already. Oh, that's input. Shit, man. Okay. So, I want the headphones on the output side. I'm going to go ahead and assume the ground is shared, because it should be. I'm assuming there's a common ground between the outputs, but if I'm wrong, this is a really silly device then. So, input, R out, L out. Okay. So, minus plus R out. And plus L out. If necessary, I can create a bridge circuit. Using my fingers to try and manipulate this thing so that I can get all three of them in where they need to be. I might need to bend them straight again. Okay. There we go. Haha. So left, ground, right. Or wait, left, right, ground. Yeah, because this one has the 2 pluses in the middle and the grounds are on either side. I'm not going to bother hooking up one of the grounds because I'm a rebel like that. I'm betting that they're connected. Actually, I don't have to bet. I have a multimeter. I can just find out. Let's test these 2 grounds. Wow, they're isolated. That's fun. Huh. Well, I might have to bridge it after all. We'll see how this works. There we go. We're in business there. Now do I have a short section of wire? I can bridge. That stupid ground over. Usually something like that would have a, especially for a headphone, but I guess this is meant for speakers. Like let's say you build a Raspberry Pi gaming device, you can put this little amplifier in it and it would have separate stereo channels for 2 speakers. Isolated. So if I stick a wire up here, well, it's not very far up. It's going to heat up fast, but I'm just going to hold on to it and hope it doesn't burn me. It did heat up fast, but it did also solder fast. Where's the, oh, here it is. Oh, fuck, I dropped it. Christ. Christ almighty. Christ, eh? we go. It's in. I'm happy. So now this little wire needs to come over and connect to this ground over here. And that should work like that, but I'm just going to put more solder on it. More solder. Yep, now the grounds are bridged. So that should work great. Here's a test. So if I plug it into a USB device, do I hear the amplifier kick in? Aha! Sorry for shaking the camera. I have a bunch of these batteries from the dollar store. And that will do the trick, for sure. In fact, when I go to build one of these permanently, maybe I can put a battery in it. So if I plug headphones into this, and I plug power in, I don't know, if the power is extremely clean, I won't hear anything, but I might hear just a little pop that tells me it's got power. Oh wow. I can hear it. I can hear a hum too. So this potentiometer is actually, it controls power too. So I hear a pop, and now I hear audio only out of the right side. Wow, it's going to be a pretty loud amplifier, I think. So, interesting. Yeah, I'm hearing like fuzz, and if I turn it up really loud, I hear a bit of a hum, but I'm only hearing it out of the right channel. So that's unfortunate. Well, I guess on to the next step, which is trying to figure out how to put the RCA jacks in. What the RCA jacks are going to do is allow me to take old video game systems and put audio in from an old video game system, so I can, you know, so I can listen to the old games on my headphones, not bug anyone else in the house. So I guess I'm going to go with the same idea, brown for red, or brown for right, and yellow for left. Let's go with that. Strip away a little bit of shielding. Dip that in our acid flux. Got a big old gob on there. And set that through the hole, center hole of this audio jack here. And then I'm just going to warm this back up. It's still warm actually. Put some solder on there. And I guess I should probably get a ground wire for this ready too, because it's going to need one. So So that's melted on. Change positions for this and clamp onto the center pole instead. And let's get the ground wire ready. Make it roughly the same length. And they've handily made the ground this thing here on the outside. So, heat back up. There we go. That's a huge gob of solder. Way more than I need, but you know, it'll do the trick. Now I need a left jack, so let's put a left jack there. Let's prepare our left wire. Now I need a ground wire, which I will make white for this, for left. Flux on there, just using the end of the solder. And there we go, we've got a ground wire. My leg's falling asleep here, maybe I should get off the chair. Okay. So we have a black jack. And we have a red jack. And we will use those as our inputs. Ho ho ho. So I gotta strip the board end of these wires. Right. So, yeah, I guess I'll have to do these one at a time. Get a little flux on there. Capacitors are fluxing. We want ground and right. And again, I will use my needle nose pliers to just bend that over so it's easier to work with. Whoa. are soldered. Now the fun part is there's my left input. See, the inputs share a ground, but the outputs do not. It's so weird. I'm tempted to think they isolated the channels for quality's sake, but you know, that would be giving them a heck of a lot of credit. Just going to touch the ground to the top of the other wire. It solders right on there. And that's good and solid. Ho ho ho. So yeah, now all I need is a sound source that I can put away all my wires and stuff. I need a sound source that uses RCA inputs, or RCA outputs. So let's get some things out of the way here. Right. So where are my headphones? Let's test this again. Let's see what I get. If I touch this, I can hear it on my right channel. So I'm getting nothing on the left channel, which is really odd. I wonder if I need to turn this off before I do anything. I wonder if I need to reinforce this connection or make sure this connection is working. Or maybe sever this connection. I don't know. Now let's try it. Yeah, it doesn't like those two being connected. So now it's disconnected. Yeah, I'm still getting nothing over left, which is weird. So let's take out this weird ground wire I had to add. I wonder if the left channel just doesn't work on this specific one. I mean, it could be bad. 2, 3, 4. So pin 1 is ground, 2 is microphone, 3 is left, 4 is right. So, yeah, pin 3 is yellow, which is plugged into left. L out. So that's really weird. I wonder if it's mislabeled. isolate the left and try and get it out of there. Came out. And I'm just going to leave it loose so that I can experiment. Now I'm getting no noise at all. Like it's not the shittiest amp in the world. Holy shit. Yeah, I think only the right channel on this particular amp works. That sucks. Seems like the left channel is just fried or not connected or something. I think they told me the wrong pins. Because I'm getting sound on both channels, but I'm not sure why. Okay, maybe I should hook this up to a sound source and see if I can't get some real audio over it. Alright. Okay, so Nintendo Wii, which usually outputs deafeningly loud audio. Let's just plug this in. buzzing. God, I'm getting nothing but nasty sounds. Oh wow. Now I have audio. That's weird. Huh. So one of these wiring diagrams is wrong, very wrong, because if I barely put the headphones in, then it works. I'm guessing the numbers on this headphone jack are very wrong. Okay, well, what I can do, what's probably better because you guys can probably hear it as well, is I can hook speakers up to this little amp instead of headphones. Just remove the headphones entirely. Guess I want to remove it from power. Another thing about using solid core wire. Oh, it can be a pain to work with if you use it in circuitry. Oh, it's so rigid. Get out of there. Like, I'm sure I'm just lifting the traces now. Okay, so we have an amplifier that makes a heck of a lot of noise. It would be no surprise if these things were just garbage, but let's try and give them a bit of the benefit of the doubt. We have a speaker. I'm going to wire the speaker to left first to see if the left side works. There, so we have a speaker, we have power. Wow, there's a lot of DC because this is the cheapest thing ever. So it makes the speaker just jump. Okay, so let's plug this in. It's kind of hard to hear. But you can hear the Wii menu music coming out of a headphone, so that's why it's so quiet, but yeah. So the left channel does work. I'm guessing the wiring that they gave me on the eBay listing was completely wrong. Oh well. Well, I guess I'm going to stop streaming from now. I know that the device works, so I'll be able to maybe diagnose what the actual pins are, like look up the pins on the internet for a 4-pin headphone jack and figure out what the actual pins are on this little guy relative to that, because obviously they were wrong. Bye for now.